first of all, as someone that doesn't know anything, I find the idea that we were purposefully super engineering viruses to be kind of an insane thing to do. But it surely started off as a good intentioned way to keep us safe. But there's also like a financial incentive, as Peter Daszak at EcoHealth Alliance has proven. Like, if you're raising tons of money to do this stuff, let's do more. And sometimes what more is seems super dangerous and not in the public health.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Peter Daszak effectively took over a small and rather sleepy wildlife charity and saw the opportunity. He's an entrepreneur. He's a grantrepreneur, if you like the expression. Saw the opportunity in the wake of SARS and Ebola. There was a lot more money going into this kind of work, and within a few years, he had grown the annual budget of this organization to $17 million, which is money that the US government on the whole was giving, partly through the Pentagon, partly through the National Institutes of Health, and partly through the overseas development projects. And that money was then distributed to research partners around the world, of which the most prominent was the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where Xi Jinping became one of the biggest recipients of money from the EcoHealth Alliance, and became a great friend of Peter Daszak's. So it's not in Peter Daszak's interest, financial or emotional or psychological, to want to find out, to think that this came as a result of the research they had been funding. And that's very clear. And yet when he orchestrated a letter to the Lancet in February 2020, when the pandemic was about a month old, saying we can definitively rule out any lab-based origin, he also added that he declared no competing interest. Now, that doesn't seem to me to be the way scientists should be behaving. Remember, I'm saying this as a huge fan of science. I'm a science groupie. I've spent my whole career writing about how wonderful science is, how fantastic it is to discover things, how great scientists are. I wrote a biography of Francis Crick, one of my heroes, who was the man behind the whole story of genomics, as it were. And so I want this stuff to be heroic and good. But that's why it's all the more annoying when you find scientists behaving in a way that can tarnish the reputation of the entire field.
Well, I have this wild theory that sometimes government involvement screws up the most beautiful things. So